Hi, I'm Steve, and I sometimes feel anxious. Not so long ago, I had been a very anxious person. Back then, every day, at almost every moment, I felt anxiety. I identified as an anxious person. It was normal for me. I believed I was genetically predisposed to be an anxious and fearful person. Although there were up and down days, I would describe my average mood as -3 on a +10 to -10 scale. My fears and anxiety inhibited me from enjoying those people I was with. My mind was always thinking, and I missed a lot of positives in life. I was obese, a workaholic, self centered, a control freak, and had some narcissist tendencies. There were many episodes of depression, and one where I was very close to suicidal. I had no self love, very little self trust, and very little self esteem. As a result, my romantic relationships had me quite dependent on the other person. I also had an unhealthy relationship with sex where I confused sex, affection, and love. One of the more damaging was that I was quite impetuous, reacting quickly from my urges generated by things people said or did that I judged without taking the time to ask questions. Later in life, I found that I am not an anxious person, but a person that sometimes feels anxiety. I now feel anxiety a couple days per month, and then for an hour or two. Interestingly, I still believe that I am genetically predisposed to feeling fear and anxiety. It became clear to me that there were certainly some painful events in my life, events out of my control. But the vast majority of my negative feelings was suffering, things that I did have control over. I thought to myself, if I had control over these hurtful to me things, maybe, just maybe, I could change them. But how? I looked and looked for years for a solution. I concluded there was not a way. Then I had two events in my life that motivated me to look harder: a divorce and a belief that my second wife was leaving me. I learned that my anxiety was caused by 14 bad habits, habits that I had developed earlier in my life and that were so automatic that I was oblivious that I was even performing them. I know what you're asking yourself. How could anxiety be a habit? I will answer this with a quote from Alan Watts. Ego, the self which he has believed himself to be, is nothing but a pattern of habits. The more that we think or believe that we are an anxious person, the more our minds reinforce this habit. The more we perform the habit, the more we believe it until we label ourselves an anxious person and cannot recall how we got to this point. If you are interested in finding a path to a healthy relationship with anxiety, click here for the next video.